it pulled up.
Awesome. All right.
Oh my
Hello,
goodness.
everyone.
Cute.
I'm Gray Skeptic, and I'm back. I hope. I hope everyone can hear me this time. I'm going to close that. I'm going to pull up my live chat so I can get some feedback from everyone. Thank you for letting me know that no one could hear me. And you guys...
I see you on there, it looks like.
Okay, Reese says we're all good. Oh, I'm having this. Well, I guess they can hear me before. Maybe I just goofed up for no reason. Okay. Well, thank you everyone for trying to help me out. I'm sorry if I made things worse because I do that sometimes. Because I'm not the best at this. But anyways, hi, I'm Gray Skeptic. Welcome back to the stream. Try number 2. And I'm here with Christy Santiago. And we are going to do our 14th episode of Atheist Flashbacks tonight. Christy was a Southern Baptist, and she does not have her own channel, as far as I know, but she is always on everyone else's streams, just helping the community and making the live chat as fun as humanly possible. So welcome, Christy. Would you like to introduce yourself again?
Again, let's try this. Take 2.
Take 2.
All right. That's right. Christine Santiago, or Christy. My clients call me Christine, but my friends call me Christy. I've been through a lot of, I guess I'm not a lot. 3, 4 churches, I guess, isn't a lot, but I didn't have control over that. Like I said, my parents took me. So yeah, the Southern Baptist is something that happened here in the South.
There we go. So a true Southern Baptist, or at least he used to be.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Guilt.
Yeah? You feeling it? Is it real?
Yeah, the Southern Baptist guilt is real. Yes. How they get you. You're frozen in the cutest smile.
Live chat too. So for anyone who didn't catch it the first time around, at midnight we are taking a drink, taking a shot, whatever you got, because it will be. Did you say Chrissy?
Christy with the
Christy. Okay, you want the T. Okay, that's what I was saying. All right, yes, I want to make sure I got it. All right, because we're friends. I'm not a client.
Right. Although I could do your hair if you're ever near.
Are you saying I need it? Because I might.
Mean, not right at this moment, but soon, I'm sure.
I will take you up on that. Next time I'm in Florida, I'm gonna schedule a haircut with you.
I would love that.
Just give me the works.
That's right.
But at midnight, we're taking shots because it's Christy's birthday, and she's decided to spend her birthday doing a stream into it with me, which is fantastic. She'll be 42, and we're all going to take 42 shots.
Oh my God.
Fuck yeah.
I wouldn't make it. I wouldn't make it ever. Such a lightweight.
We're going to do 42 shots. Then we're going to invite Shannon Q on here because she's always funnier when she's drunk.
She's hilarious either way. She's brilliant. Yes. Brilliant.
All right. All right. Live chat. Thank you very much for coming. I see a lot of very fun people.
Oh, a lot of happy birthdays. Thank you, everybody. So sweet.
Save them for midnight.
Yeah, it is the 29th. On the 29th, I was born at 8:50 a.m.
Oh, there you go. I was also.
And I'm not a morning person.
Neither am I. I was born at like 8:15 or no 8:03. I don't know. How did I get that confused? Something like that. And
are you a morning person? Froze again. How do you freeze on the cutest faces? That never happens.
One of us froze. Oh, there we go. Showcase off. All right. All right, so let's actually get into this since we're at least 10 minutes in. And I already stole some of our time by goofing up because I do that. Anyways, Christy, you are now a Southern Baptist again. Welcome back to your former faith.
Okay.
And I've already told Christy the rules. If anyone doesn't know them, whenever a question is hard for her to answer or she rolls her eyes, we all take a drink because that's what keeps us sane. Or take a hit. Do whatever you got to do to get through this. This will be fun. We will have fun. So,
yes, I'm ready.
she is super ready. I'm not even that ready. I have this much rum.
It's my birthday, though.
It is your birthday. I'm gonna have to grab more rum.
It is
coffee.
My birthday.
All right. So the first question I like to ask is,
okay,
do you drink?
About 2 years ago, I would have told you maybe once every 3 or 4 years. But this year, this will be the 3rd time I've drank.
Whoa!
So, I'm a party animal now.
Yeah. So what you're saying is you used to not be a heathen, but now you're a heathen.
Right, exactly. No, I was never a prude I've been a pot enthusiast since, I grew up. My dad, even though my mom went to church, my dad didn't ever. And he was a hippie pothead. And so I had 2 contrasting different worlds every day.
Can you say that again for me? I'm sorry, you cut out for like the last 10 seconds.
Okay. I said, even though I was raised with a very religious and conservative mom, my dad, on the other hand, still being conservative, was in a rock band. His hair was long. He never went to church, and he always grew his own weed. So I had 2 completely different contrasting worlds in my home. So I was never prudish or looked at anybody different. The taste, it really grossed me out. And then I tried scotch and grew some hair on my chest. And so now I will drink scotch. It's still gross. I have to plug my nose to drink it, but
see,
but at least I don't gag.
I only drink things that I like. So I'm like, some people hate me for this, but like I don't touch beer. I hate beer. I think it's disgusting.
I've never had a beer.
Never. Yeah, don't do it. It's gross.
I
actually
can't
like
even
all the girly drink and like straight liquor.
Yes, just straight. It's the only thing straight.
It's just the only thing. So, all right. So I'm going to go a little bit out of my normal order.
Okay.
Since I'll just take that segue. As a Southern Baptist, like your Southern Baptist community, how do you view the gays?
Oh gosh, I have to say, until high school, I never even thought of it. Never
drink.
Never. Oh man.
You got chaser.
Okay. Yeah, never really thought of it. It just wasn't a part of our anything. Although at that time I had already had a couple experiences of playing house with girls. Just never put it together.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. That's normal, right?
Yeah.
Please tell me.
So like, so it was like little to no like pressure there from your church. Like you guys just
never. I guess it just wasn't. I didn't know anybody that was gay.
Okay.
Nobody had come out. It wasn't something that we talked about at all. Abstinence only was preached nonstop.
Yeah. Tends to be. Give me just a second here. I gotta do a thing. I had a request in the live chat, and I'm trying not to ignore them.
Yeah, no,
But
you're
I
fine.
also, this guy cannot multitask. Johnny Drive-By, you should be set. Sorry for the prolonged wrenching. So, all right.
Okay.
Okay. So, was it ever really brought up, even into adulthood, how you should view that lifestyle?
My mom is an identical twin. My mom moved from Iowa to Florida. Her twin moved from Iowa to California. The twin came out gay, and my mom had. She never said anything bad about it, but she would say things like, "She's always been different. She's always been misguided or neurotic." But then after they, had been together for a decade or two, it's not a phase anymore.
Yeah.
And my mom's never been a prejudice that way growing up. As an adult, I see things that she says and my eye twitches. But as a kid, I never got that, don't talk to them, they're others, from my mom. Ever. I'm very grateful for that, because it's not something I would want to have to climb out of.
Yeah. Because I remember talking to Kyle, and I forget
I watched it twice.
kind of. Did you?
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, it was. We had a really good conversation. But yeah, he had to really swim upstream to get through all that. But so that's good. That's positive. And I guess that kind of answers the next question that I would have, which is, what separates your Baptist church from other Baptist churches?
Looking back on it, so much. But at that time, we would have Bible camp with other churches, and I didn't see too much difference. I mean, there were a lot of white people in one spot. And very judgmental kids. They would be really cruel to some of the kids that didn't have as much, or really cruel to the girls who had a bad haircut. And I never understood that we could be there for Jesus and be so mean to each other. I never got that. They never got in trouble for it, because the kids that were causing the problems, parents paid a lot of money, donated a lot of money to the church, to the camp. Yeah, it was always like that, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, you kind of get that. Actually, I might ask you to take the screen off for just a little bit, and I'll do the same, so we're matching here. And we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, see if it's better for everybody.
Yeah. Live chat, please let us know if you guys are having trouble with either of our hearing either of our audio. I'm having a hard time keeping Christy connected on my end here. So all right. So moving right along, I'd like to know, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. How literal do you take that verse of the Bible?
Ooh, as a young Christian, I was the kid who had my hand up with, but that doesn't make sense. That can't be. My science teacher said this, and was always pulled apart, not told in front of other kids, but alone, that there's knowledge and there's faith, and you need to have both of them. And as a kid, I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't understand a word of it. Same with the Noah's Ark. I did the math, and I did I didn't go so
far. Hold that against you.
Yeah, I didn't go so far as the methane from the animal's feces. not being able to, or creating an environment that we couldn't live in. I didn't go that far. I wasn't that advanced in my mind. I was young. Mm-hmm. But I also knew that that's just not possible. And I did ask a lot of questions. I was very peer pressured in this particular church to do many things.
Gotcha. So you cut out just a little bit for me. But so did you, or like, how long did you believe just Adam and Eve were like the first people on Earth?
Gosh, probably until about 14 or 15. But I didn't believe that story wasn't true anymore. I just believed it was kind of true in its own way. Mm-hmm. I mean, anybody that's, coming to an age where you're starting to take biology and you're starting to take all of these cool classes. I mean, I thought they were cool. I loved science. I liked geography, but I loved science. Science and the arts were always my favorite. And so coming to that age and seeing things and learning things that couldn't be that there were a first two people, to me, that just meant that maybe when God started evolution, there was two people. That silliness.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's better.
Yeah, I know. Drink. Woo! Weird sound effects, I'm sure.
Yeah. So then just moving through it, I like to kind of hit the big points of like Genesis and Exodus.
Okay.
Noah's flood, even after you weren't quite as a young Earth creationist, did you still really believe the flood story? Did you really believe?
No, they
Exodus?
could never get my mind around that one. To me, no matter what they said, to me, that was always a story that they must be wrong. And I remember coming to that conclusion when my mom had told us something. I don't even remember what it was. But then we saw a Natural Geographic, whatever, and it contradicted what she said. And my mom goes, "Oh, wow. See, parents can be wrong sometimes." And when that happened, nobody could tell me any different after that. I knew that parents and adults could be wrong sometimes.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. It's awesome that, like, one, she would say that, and two, you would react that way.
Right. Yeah. I remember it. I remember after I used it against her a few times.
As any good daughter should.
Absolutely.
Yes. Before we move on, I'm going to go ahead and say, let's bring our video back up because the live chat was saying that they could hear. And
they can hear us just fine. All right. Shane's in here. Hi, Shane.
And now there's a gnat by me. I wish I had my camera off. So
a gnat.
A gnat. I hate gnats.
Gnats and swords.
And what?
And swords.
Gnats
swords. And swords.
I need a swords. For these gnats. All right. So I looked down to the live chat and I just saw myself going.
It's so funny. I try not to look because I look a damn fool.
Exactly. Just all like, hey, let's turn the camera back on.
Every time it freezes on me, I'm like, for 10 minutes. It's awful.
Perfect. All right. So there's a point in there that I'd like to touch on. You said that they said or what they said didn't really convince you, like of Noah's flood. Who's they? Who's they to you in that instant? Is it they who wrote the Bible? Is it just the
It
Bible
was,
in
no,
general,
I
the
at that
church?
point had not picked up the Bible,
Mhm.
except I had my own Precious Moments Bible with my name scrolled on it. I had my own Bible case that had handles on it. I took it everywhere I went.
Oh, how cute.
But I had only read something when they said, open the book to this chapter in this verse. And then I read what they were talking about, and then we closed it. I had never even thought, maybe I should read this at that point. And so what I'm talking about is I also went to a private school that wasn't Baptist before I moved to Florida. So I was at a private school during the day and church during the weekend, and I could not be convinced of the Noah's Ark. And I was told that it's okay at the school who wasn't. I mean, this is up north, and I was told that it's okay. It's a, you know, a story to live by. There's lots of good things. Of course, they never said the whole world was populated with dead bodies of babies and moms, and no, they never said any of that.
Not
And
important.
I never even thought of it. The first time I pondered that was about 1.5 years ago, and my jaw dropped to the ground. And now looking back, I'm like, what was I thinking about for my whole life?
Yeah.
Wait, at all. Ever. The next day, what I had to do, kids, dinner, not pondering things. I guess it's the age. My kids are 20 and 24, and they're off, and I have time. And my mind is so hungry for everything. I can't read enough. I can't watch enough. That's why I'm told all the time, which cracks me up, that I'm a bot because I can't be in all the streams at once.
Yeah.
But, okay, I'm a bot.
There you go. You're a very friendly bot.
Oh, shucks.
There's a lot of really shitty bots out there.
Yes.
I really like Christy Bot. If you make your own channel, you should call it
Christy bot.
Christy Bot.
No, the pot bot.
The pot bot. Oh yeah. Perfect.
All right, next
We'll get
question.
this going. Next question. Well, actually, I would like to touch base on because you and I have talked a little bit back and forth over like the past couple of weeks now, and I think it's really cool.
Robot. Damn it.
Yep. I lost you a little bit there. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you perfectly now.
Okay. Did you hear my question or comment? Okay.
No.
I said that I kind of came to my atheism about a little over 1.5 years ago, and you came to your atheism about a year ago.
Yeah, a year and a month now. Yeah.
Yeah. And we were kind of sharing videos back and forth of like just what we're watching now.
Yeah.
And it was fun.
It was fun.
And like I feel like there's like some similarities of like what we watched and like like how we got to where we are. So I think it's kind of cool. But it's a lot of YouTube.
Yes, there's not enough time in the day for the books that I'm reading and to finish. And for my own, I get distracted easily, personality, and YouTube. There's not.
Yeah. So, and I just put my earbuds in at work, and I just let it go, just all night long. So that's nice.
Yes, it's a great idea. I fall asleep every night. I have to sleep. I always have with.
Oh, you're cutting out again.
Flashing lights, and so I've used my phone as my TV for a couple years now, way before any of this started. And now all I do is find a lineup of lectures, and I'll put them on and lay down and close my eyes. And sometimes they're so good, it's 5 o'clock in the morning, and I'm taking notes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's.
You're breaking up.
Third shift, so staying up to 5 in the morning is not a really big deal. I'm still at work. But yeah. So I guess kind of like a shout out to all the content creators in our live chat, like Unholy
There's so
Mole
many
and
of them.
Shannon
Love
Q and
Molly.
Not Joe Witness and the Lavender Lady. Hello
And
to all of you,
Activist,
and thanks for doing what you
Diana,
do.
and
Because
Reese. Reese is a good friend
Reese,
of mine. Yeah, we talk outside of YouTube. He's a
it's
good
awesome.
kid. I like him. And Steve, oh my gosh, and there's so many in here, I can't even right now. Terry,
Steve was
everybody's name. It'll be like what is it, Romper Room, when I just start calling out everybody's name.
yeah.
Yeah, we won't do that. But I love all of you. Snarky, Queen Snarky. Yeah, she's amazing.
Oh, and the Godless Island.
Yes.
Like you, yes, especially like you. His deconversion story is amazing. Johnny Drive-By. Everyone.
Many of them. Johnny was the very first mic check I ever did for this to see if my mic even worked or if I could figure this out. Which it was really simple. I did it on myself, but not knowing, it was, thinking, okay, do I know where this is supposed to go? I read the directions. It was fine. I always overwork it and then do it. And it's fine. How am I going to do this? Oh, it was easy.
Oh, we have a question for you.
Okay.
How did you just sub to the Godless Island today?
Oh, okay.
Called out.
No. That is not what happened. I keep going to my favorite channels and wondering why it's live and I haven't been notified. And it shows that I'm subbed, but the bell's not on. So I unsubbed and resubbed and hit the bell. That's all that happened today. Mister.
And we'll wait till we're synced back up. There you are again. I told Matt to calm down. We keep cutting out, and I don't know what it is, but
I don't either.
I don't know.
I was told that having a line directly into the Wi-Fi would help, and I don't have that. The Wi-Fi is in another room, and I'm on Wi-Fi.
Gotcha. Well, see, last week I used the data on my phone, but anyways, that's not what we're here to talk about. So I'll get back to it. We keep going off on a tangent.
Okay.
All right. So next up, Exodus. So you did you believe that? Did you believe that one, Moses cast out all these plagues in the name of God, and two, that they left Egypt for like 40 years and then made it to whatever the promised land, Israel, and settled there afterwards? How much of that story was believed?
I read it as they gave it to me and believed every word of it.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, these people are older than me and are smarter than me, and I'm told to be good and listen to them when I'm dropped off. So yeah, every word of it. The whole Moses and the sea. As a kid, I thought, in the bathtub, thinking, how do you part water? With my mind, and it never happened. But I still thought, but God could do it.
Exactly. That's exactly what you were missing, Christy.
It wasn't God.
How to do this? God.
Oh no.
Because we disconnected there.
Okay.
But all right. So I'm saying so a lot. So.
Retitle this
So take two.
I like it.
What do you know about the books of the Bible in between Exodus and the New Testament?
I just read the entire Old Testament, King James, a year ago, and then I decided to skip the normal version of the New Testament, and because I was losing my best friend to the Jehovah's Witnesses, I picked up the Jehovah's Witness version of the New Testament and read that. And I thought this can't be real. So then I did read our New Testament too. So I've read that New Testament twice this year and the Old Testament only once this year. It was the first read through ever in my life. And I have to say, I've probably read about 30 books since then. So if you bring up a story, I could tell you exactly what happened. I do know that a lot of the whole taking off penis skin and throwing it is what I remember. I remember throwing it. I remember reading about throwing penis skin at people's feet. And yeah, a lot of that. A lot of penis foreskin cut off. I don't know why I remember that the most.
You handled that really well, but
penis foreskin.
You handled that so well. You handled that penis foreskin with such delicacy. I don't want to make you choke. You got 18 minutes before your birthday. I'm not going to kill you. You did good. She was just telling me how much she loves scotch.
That's so good. Can you tell?
Yeah.
I should do a commercial for it.
We should. Did you see my commercial and one of my others?
Commercial?
Yeah, my peace tea commercial.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll do one for scotch.
Yes, I love it.
Just a second here. Kyle asked me a question. So I don't want to look back on it too much. I kind of want to stick with the Christian version for now, and then we can kind of go back and talk about things after midnight. Let's hit Old Testament.
Okay.
Did you have a preferred version of like a book for the account of Jesus' life, like Mark, Matthew, Luke, John?
Yeah, John, because it's
John.
the most magical, crazy, bizarre zombies. Yeah, it's fan fiction. Jesus fan fiction. That was the best one. I like
it's the
fantasy.
most elaborate. There we go.
Oh yes, definitely the most elaborate. Yes.
Awesome.
I remember running out to the living room to tell my daughter, "Oh my gosh, listen to this," and then I'll read her, and she's like, "So zombies." I'm like, "Yeah, see what I saved you from."
You're a hero. So, but did you read the other accounts?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So did you ever notice the differences in them, and did it ever bother you?
Oh, yeah. I never read them as a young kid. Like I said, I didn't know that Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John had different stories as a kid. I thought exactly what I was told, that these are 4 accounts of his life. All 4 of them knew him or could attest for him. And they're all the same story, so it proves he was real.
Gotcha. So, but when did it bother you? Is I guess what I'm asking.
Oh gosh. So at 15 and 16, I had a really, really good teacher who we could get into these great conversations with, and it was the first time I heard, "But how do you know it's true?" And it was about somebody's uncle that was visiting them after he was dead. And I thought, yeah, how do you know that's true? And then later on that day, it was Wednesday, or I'm pretty sure because it was in the evening. A lot of schools, the churches come to the schools and set up tables and say, "Hey, we have a youth group and there'll be free cookies," and that's what it was. And I thought as they were talking, "But how
come to the dark side? We have cookies."
Right? Yes, cookies.
Come to Jesus.
Cookies.
Also, if no one's noticed,
I love it. It's so good.
We have cookies.
We have cookies should be on the back.
I might be able to make that happen.
Oh, I love it. That's so good. Yes. So
Sorry,
I remember thinking right then, but how do you know that's true? not too much changed in my belief for the next few years, but I did question, not out loud, but there can't be a virgin birth because that's not how that happens. And there can't be resurrection because that's not how that happens. Mm-hmm. So maybe it was just different, and that's the way they're teaching it as a teenager. Okay. But I still believe Jesus. We still did, Christmas as it was a religious holiday, and we still did Easter. We went to church, and I would get goosebumps at church. I would cry at church. Nobody could tell me it was not real. That's for sure. And if I hadn't been for a while because I was busy with swim practice or whatever I was into at that time in school, and I would go to church, and I would feel so guilty for not have been there for him. And the songs would make me cry, and I would feel like such a horrible person. And then the testimony afterwards, they would call people up, and I guess they could pick me out like a sore thumb because here I am all emotional, and that whole bringing you up to the front and praying with you. And now, of course, it seems ridiculous, but then it was so real. I mean, it's definitely a mind fuck. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. And I guess that I will be the atheist that I will be because of it. And I've always been somebody who can't just sit by if something's going on that I don't approve of or that I think hurts people. I will always stand up. So therefore, I will have to be a good atheist instead of a party animal. That's why I'm in almost all of your streams. I don't know. I had almost falling into really, really deep depression when I decided that I was going to prove to my best friend that all her shit was wrong, and that's how I found out that all my shit was wrong. Mm-hmm. By digging it in, and my whole life's changed. Then I wake up, I don't know, everything's different. Everything's different. You guys make me smile all the time. I mean, life happens, can't really do anything about all of that. But having people around you who are always going to go, yeah, I get it, I understand, it's totally different from where I come from. So I really appreciate you guys. Sorry, I know that's off around a corner.
No.
I wanted to throw that in there.
No, it's
you guys mean everything.
It's definitely relevant, and I appreciate you sharing that. And if you want to focus on it a little bit, that's okay. We can do that. Because I think the community that we have, it's not just it's not just like a weird little YouTube group, right? Like we've made quite a large community, and I found us through Shannon Q talking with Steve McRae. So I found the great debate community, and then through there, it's just like it was connected to this larger Twitter and other YouTube and other Facebook larger community. That's it's just huge, and it's very, very supportive. And we have our squalls, we have our issues every now and then. But as long as you can think critically, like you're supposed to in this group, you can get over it, or you can be an adult about it and disagree, and it's fine. That's fine. I noticed just a little while ago today that Cosmic Skeptic threw out a video. It was Rationality Rules.
Yes, it was so good. I put my makeup on while it was playing. Yes, a few times I had to stop and just watch, oh, damn, I love that they could do this. Because in my family, two magical thinkers can't do that. They can't. You're offending them. Everything's personal. And I've learned that someone's ideas and arguments are totally different than themselves. And I love watching that interaction of two people talk. And I love when the person that was shown to be wrong goes, okay, wow, I'm going to have to change that. Dumbfounded the first time I saw that. I was like, what? Okay, wow. I really like that. Yeah, it was very mature.
Yeah, yeah, and that's kind of what like I don't want to say the outside world, but like the outside world like doesn't get, you know, and it's I see the same thing in politics. I'm not saying that my views are correct,
right?
But I am seeing that the mainstream right-wing media side is not correct, and the left-wing side of things, like if you just want to like look at it news-wise, Fox is wrong, CNN is less wrong, much less wrong.
Right.
Right. And the thing I hate seeing, because this is why this is another perk of the group. One is just the community feel that like you have demonstrated that you get from this. Like you and a lot of other viewers and content creators, interviewees, we get a sense of I don't know the right word. We can relax a little bit because we understand that there's someone else out there who kind of gets our views.
Yeah.
And
when it was just one person, I was like,
yeah.
And there's so many. It's wonderful. Yeah, to be in that by anyone.
Yeah.
Don't get me started.
I'm gonna drink again. But here she goes.
So I'm gonna fall off my ball.
Don't do it.
Get bounced on the ball.
So the other thing that I've gained, other than community, which is like what I was looking for, was philosophy. I have a basic understanding of philosophy and logical fallacies. Yes, and you can transfer that to fucking anything.
To everything.
Yes. And like, whenever my brother posts just the most ad hominem bullshit politics memes that he can possibly find, I'm like, how are people taking you seriously, and why is my family liking all your shit? Stop it.
I know. Facebook is so horrible.
It's the worst.
It's so horrible.
Yeah. Actually, there's if anyone hasn't seen, I'm going to promote someone else's much larger channel because they need it. John Oliver's stuff.
Although I do have to say, to be devil's advocate, Abby Martin, one of my favorite journalists, her brother took the episode, and I will send it to you. You'll like it. You can listen to it at work. He took the episode of John Oliver's the next week show,
last
whatever
week
it's called. Yeah, on Venezuela. And he plays the entire movie and does a voiceover and corrects every single point where he gets wrong with citations. And you can go to his website and he'll show you where to get all the information. And that was hard to swallow. And the old me would have saw, who's doing what to John Oliver, and just not watched it, not listened to it, been just appalled that someone would do that to someone I love.
Yeah.
Without, that's an embarrassing thing, but it is true. That's exactly how it was. And this time I thought, wow, I want to know. I want to at least know so that if something's wrong, I can make it right. It's as simple as that, just to listen to the other side. And he is on the left, her brother. Very, very on the left. So that was another, not that mattered to me. I wanted to know who this person, who I respected, Abby Martin, who said, watch my brother's thing. Well, I'm going to. And I did. And that was a hard pill to swallow because he was wrong on a lot. But he's also a comedian and not a journalist. So I did have to give him, some slack. He did a really funny job. And he's fed, not that I'm making excuses for him, but he's got a team that hands him his stuff for the show.
Yeah.
And I like him, so I made an excuse for him. It's very plain.
Yeah. Right. And you'll have that. And like, it's okay to be biased. Like, it's okay to be religious when you know you're wrong. You know what I mean? And like, I'm not saying you're just wrong for liking John Oliver, because like I like him too. So I'm also biased. But It's you just have to think critically about it, and you have to accept other ideas. You have to accept criticism that is constructive.
Oh,
and
off track.
yes, yes.
Something that happened recently. My whole life growing up, I was told by a mom who took me to the chiropractor. I know Snarky's probably like, but yes, I went to the chiropractor for everything via my mother. And I got the supplements when I was sick. I went to a doctor called With Hands Only was the name of the doctor's office.
Uh-huh.
Right? He would put his hands on me and do weird stuff. Well, my mom always told me, because he always told her, don't microwave anything. Microwaves change the DNA of food. You'll get sick. So my mom put this in me all the time. And in this new atmosphere in my mind where I want to find out what I do think is real, if it really is, because obviously I was wrong about everything. Mm-hmm. So I thought, I'm going to check that out. I just dove into I went to Science Today first, just basic microwaves, looking things up and how they work and what they do, and they just vibrate the water. They just make the water vibrate really fast. It doesn't do anything else. I was like, God damn it, I was wrong about that too. This is probably, I don't know, just a month or two ago. I called my mom and said, you've been wrong always. Not like that, of course, but I wanted to. And she's always like, no, it's proven. I said, proven where? A doctor told you once. I was there. Mm-hmm. Listen, this is, and she does understand peer review. So when I said that it is, and she said, oh. And that was that, that like, changed one thing.
Yeah. Okay. And
back on track.
No, it's okay. And I'll say one last thing on it, and then we can move on. And don't hate me, Mrs. Snarky. But like, chiropractic isn't all bad. Like, you can make adjustments, but that doesn't mean it like heals your entire body. Like, it doesn't fix everything. Yeah. It like there is quackery to it, but there's also
this guy was.
Yeah, and that's that's something that's definitely good.
Because I had ear infections.
Yeah, see, that's dumb shit. That's some real dumb. Like, you align the spine when the vertebrae are out of line. Like,
there's a town here in Florida. What's the name of it? It's an all Wiccan town. There's spiritualists. There's palm readers. The whole town. They kind of came in and settled there. And my mom took me there because I kept getting bronchitis and I kept getting ear infections, probably because she was taking me to a chiropractor. But I'm 11. And so she took me all the way there, sick as hell, fever. And the woman said a whole bunch of things, burnt some sage, was touching me, was praying on me in some ancient language, could have been just blah, 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 blah. I mean, I didn't know at that time. And about a week later, I also got better and didn't get ear infections again for many years. My mom swears that they healed me. And I can't argue that one on her because I didn't get sick again.
Yeah, and that's... give me just a second. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine. You fine.
Everyone grab your drink. It is midnight.
Woo!
Give me just a second here, and I'll drink with you. I gotta do a little thing real quick. Actually, we have a couple, like, gifts for you, I suppose. So...
I can handle it.
Are you gonna be okay?
Yes. In a minute.
Oh my goodness. All right. Now I'm going to take that drink. I'm going to finish what's in the bottle. It's not a lot, but. Don't go to 42. 42 is a joke.
That was 1.5 shots. That I had, so it's just been, a little bit at a time.
Every time I looked, it looked like you were taking a shot. I'm like, hold on, no.
No, I poured it.
42 shots is the answer to the universe.
I believe it. 42 is a special number.
Me too. All right, let's look at the live chat real quick. Nacho witnesses say, "Don't kill our Christy." Everyone's saying happy birthday. Fantastic. Let me. I'll give us a second here. Oh, I'll wait for that, and I will give you this. Peter, gonna go for it. Sent me a thing. I'm gonna put it in live chat real quick.
Okay.
So I'll come back over here. Sorry for the setbacks, people. We're busy celebrating.
That's right.
And
it's Kyle. I love him.
It is Kyle. There he is.
I'm in the wrong stream. What happened here?
This is the Non Sequitur Show. Welcome.
That's what I thought I was going to. I thought I was going to another. No, I'm just kidding. I wanted to pop in and say hello and tell you happy birthday.
Thank you, gorgeous.
You're
wonderful. Kyle.
Now I'm going to blush.
Well,
I hope I'm not disturbing. I just wanted to
absolutely
say a quick
not.
hello.
Not at
Thank
all.
you so much.
Not at all. And
Absolutely.
Doll face.
we had one more. Gift for you, Christy. Things are freezing up a little bit. I hope we can see. So I'm going to take my headset off.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
What's happening?
Ow!
I
Uh-oh.
don't know if you can see.
That's awesome.
That's excellent.
Also,
Amazing.
That is excellent.
That
Good
is
deal,
amazing.
man. I believe that we
You're
knew
all
each
welcome.
other on my birthday, and I didn't get this. I didn't get this on my birthday.
I think I missed your birthday. I'm sorry, Kyle.
Actually,
You did a
no,
really
you
good
didn't,
job
sir.
if you did that yourself.
Did what?
No, you didn't. Sir,
You did a
because
really good job if you did that yourself.
You did.
No, actually, this was my wife's idea.
Well, she's
I'm like,
amazing. And I
let's
love
do
her.
it. So
She needs to have more ideas. Tell her that. Tell her to have more ideas.
I will.
Okay, guys. I'm going to let you get back to your interview. Chris, I just want to say hello and happy birthday, and I hope it's amazing for you.
Thank you so much. Beautiful.
All right, guys. We'll see you
Thank
later.
you, Kyle.
Bye.
Yeah. All right. So, because I told Kyle the other day that I want to have a shirtless video at some point. He was like, yes, please, soon. So
He's not even
when Lindsay
very
said that, I'm like, all
serious.
right, let's do the thing. So I sent him a picture of my Y'all Need Jesus lifted up into Sup Kyle.
Yeah, I love it. That was amazing. Yes, that was amazing. You just made us night too. Oh, Red just told me happy birthday. Thank you, Red.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Zero, for putting down your controller. All right, so now we'll move on while I'm shirtless for the rest of the stream. My goal, so everyone knows, is to just cut this off at about an hour and a half. So around 12:30, we'll probably stop.
Perfect.
So, as a Southern Baptist,
Okay.
I'm gonna just try to push you on some topics.
Okay.
All right. So, we've already talked about homosexuality. So let's move on to another fun topic that's controversial. How do you view the idea of abortion?
Oh, as a Southern Baptist, my mom had a comic strip that was from the church paper pinned up in her office. She worked for herself. She was a personal trainer, nutritionist. So her office was where she was always at. So I always saw her there. So I always saw this comic strip. And it said, a little kid was praying to God and said, Jesus, Jesus, where are all the prophets you promised? And the cloud sent a thought bubble down that said, they've all been aborted. That's how my family felt about it. It's awful,
Very
right?
straightforward.
Oh.
Very straightforward. All right.
Yeah, it was very, very murder. It was murder. That's how
Murder.
every adult around me thought about it. And as the good, obedient, mindful child that I was, I thought, then that must be how it is.
Okay. So we'll bounce back and forth a little bit on this. So now, as an atheist, are you also humanist? Kind of
big time.
Okay.
Yes.
So with
more so
these
than
new
atheist.
values, how do you view it now, more precisely?
Oh my goodness. For a long time, I felt like this. For a long time, I've had these views and felt like this, but I didn't have words for it. I was told that I felt too much, that I was too emotional by family growing up. And now, what could happen to someone else could happen to my family. And I feel like they are an extended family. I don't have to know you to know if you're hurting, to want to help. Yeah, I get really emotional.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
Don't judge.
I don't know. I hate hatred. It's so ugly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this issue is a really gray area one. I think there's it's really, really not a black and white issue. You can't just condemn everyone who wants or needs an abortion, and you can't. I think it's kind of hard to just say that everyone who doesn't want babies to die is an awful person who's not looking at anything other than what their own personal worldviews. Like it's there is a middle ground.
I've been with 3 people. All 3 of them were married. All 3 of them had children already. All 3 of them, well, no, 2 of them were on birth control. It just shows you that it doesn't always work. Sometimes it goes wrong. And the other one wasn't, but she was also in an abusive relationship, and she didn't want to have another kid by this abusive man. And all 3 of them needed somebody to at least be there supporting for them. And I'm like, let's go. Like, I don't view them any less. Actually view them even stronger than they were before. And I'll always be there for them. I think that it should be legal and it should be safe, and that should be it.
Yes.
That's how I feel about it. And anybody that thinks different is probably a dogmatic asshole. So there's that.
Yeah. And I think that's the main thing, is that it should be legal. It should be safe. I've said before, I think maybe it should be regulated, because I think like it shouldn't be used as birth control, like as the right wing says, but that doesn't really happen.
I don't think that I know a lot of women. I've cut hair for a long time. You would think that, for me, I think that if I ever started my own salon business, I would make them take at least some psychology classes, because God, I wasn't ready when I first started to all the different personalities that I had to at least that I liked. And I found that I could find something that I did like, even if I loathed them as a person, for that 2 or 3 hours that I had them, that we could concentrate on. And that really helped me, the humanistic part of me going, everybody's essentially the same. Some are just misguided. And out of all these women, hundreds and hundreds, so many of them have had 1 or 2, and none of them use them as a quote unquote birth control. It's always been one of the hardest choices of their life, and they weighed the pros and cons, and they were able to have one safe. One was going in because she had just been raped and she needed to have a test. She didn't want to press charges because she knew the guy. And she got called all these names on the way in and she wasn't even going. I get a call from her in her car bawling. She's too scared to go in. And this was before I had changed my mind, the space that I'm in.
Mhm.
And even then I thought, oh, what disgusting people.
Yes. Yeah. Some people have no empathy whatsoever.
Right. And it's really ugly.
Mm-hmm.
Really ugly.
My wife and I have actually had to have an abortion. Like, it was kind of doctor recommended, but she couldn't recommend it. She's just like
Right.
She's like, it's dead. It doesn't look like it's
Right.
dead. Heart's still beating, but it will be stillborn. And I can't tell you to get an abortion, but I would get an abortion.
Right.
And
Yes.
yeah.
Good advice.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
so when you do that, like, we were really fortunate to get around all the people who were outside the abortion clinic, who was like 5 people. But also, like, the people who were in there, and this is still like when I was like kind of on the line about it, and like I had to do this. I was still Christian at the time.
Right.
But I understood that having a dead baby was not the option I wanted to go with.
Right, or to make her go through, or you know.
Right.
And if you don't want to get septic.
Right.
You don't want to die.
There's a lot of there's so many risks. So we had to go through with that. And I mean, that's just one case where it can be necessary. Like you said, it should be legal, and it should be safe.
Right.
That's the point. So, anyways, are you good leaving that topic there?
Yeah, I mean, I am very. I don't see that I will change my stance on it anytime soon. So legal and free, and if any woman who ever watches this ever, and they're hearing my words right now, contact me if you need a friend. I will never judge you. We'll work it out. We'll do it together.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. People need to have people by them and to not feel that they're doing something wrong or murdering a life or a soul. That's just propaganda.
Yeah.
It's a zygote, people.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Fair enough. Okay. So, moving on to the next topic.
Okay.
I said that so again. Take 2.
So.
I've got to stop. I'm going to take another drink because I'm being
Hey, the recognizing it is the first step. Oh!
And so, are you going to be okay?
Oh, yeah. I'm not driving. I'm at home.
There we go.
Yes.
So actually, back to a biblical question. This is one of my favorite ones because every freaking church has their own version of rapture.
Yeah.
I want to know your version of rapture, your version of revelations, as in as much detail as you can possibly give me. This is my favorite part of the story, the end.
It is a really interesting book. I have to say it was the most riveting besides the last of the Gospels. It was the second most riveting of the whole book. So,
because you love John so
or the
much.
first, actually the first. I do. I just thought, if I was going to tell a story of a savior and zombies and, instead of, if you're trying to enlarge a story, it goes from he just wasn't in the tomb to people saw to thousands of people saw to the whole city woke up from the dead. So I thought that was great. Okay, Exodus. Revelation. In Illinois, as a little kid, I did ask questions about when I die, would I go straight to heaven? And my mom said, of course. So that's how I took it. Now moving to Florida and going to youth group, and I mean going to stay away camp, no mom there, to having teenagers pretty much run youth groups. And I think back to when I was a teenager, I shouldn't be in charge of anybody's kids like that, molding their mental, alone without any adult supervision. And that happened all the time. And I asked a lot of questions about just things that I would see. The Nephilim, I thought I needed answers, because in the real world that can't be. And I was told that it's not that it has been, or that you need to think about it, because as long as you have Jesus in your heart and you try not to sin, of course you have to try not to sin, that all of this will happen at the end. And if you're a Christian, you're going to go wrap it up. You don't have to worry about the eyeballs all over the head and the lion head and the eagle head and all the different beasts. You don't have to worry about any of that. All those heads. And as a lesbian, head is awesome.
God's got heads.
Part. God has lots of heads. Don't you say that? Oh, God. Oh, God.
Oh, God. Oh, I think I'm getting another drink. Oh,
I know, I'm going to too. Oh, goodness. Jen's with it here. Hello, Jen with the N and 0.
Every one of you guys.
And 8
Take a
to
drink
this.
for oh God.
Yes.
And God has
True.
heads. Also hashtag that shit out.
Yes.
Please.
God has heads.
God has heads. Oh God.
Yes. You know how many guys are going to show up to see you when you're shirtless?
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just saying that I have a couple gay friends, and they are definitely going to check you out.
Well,
yeah. Oh yeah.
Just
That's a compliment.
Also tell them to sub, because I need some more subscribers.
Yes. Yes.
I'm selling out.
I think a lot
right
of
now.
girls are going to too. But this was your wife's idea, so she's using your body to help you. She's smart. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
She knows. Let her be your manager.
Yeah.
So,
well, she can't like listen to my content very much. She's just like, I can't. Yeah, she's been an atheist like her whole life, but like just hearing like the arguments and stuff.
Yeah.
She's over it. She's like, I can't. Like if I turn on anyone's channel, she's listening. She's like, I'm done. I'm done. Turn it off. I can't listen to the bullshit.
I have not got there yet. Not at all.
No.
There's a couple people that I can't listen to. Psi 10 makes my eyes start twitching. The only time I've ever been able to listen to his whole conversation with somebody was Shannon Q, because she's so nice and beautiful, and he's Psi 10. Well,
he's mean and ugly.
And he just couldn't be the normal, well, how do you know that? Well, how do you know that? Well, how do you know that? He couldn't do that to her because
she's so good at just like
he's so good at communication. Yes, she's definitely, when I watch her, I'm like, I love the way she can just, kind of get them back on track. Sai is a different story. I didn't expect him being different at the end of her conversation.
I actually haven't watched a full episode of Psi 10. Kyle and Steve were thinking about getting me on Non Sequitur show with him, but doing like a blind chat with him, because I just haven't talked to him yet. So
I would listen to him a little bit, because you're going to know, okay, listen, he has these only tricks. That's all he's got. So if you listen to 2 conversations of him, listen to a guy, listen to Shannon's, because you'll be able to see him at his nicest, you'll be able to see him at his worst. His worst, not property. They're the same. He's got the same arguments. When he gets frustrated, he says the same things. When he gets mad, he says, how do you know that? How do you know that? How do you know that? And I don't know. It's hard not to laugh. And I don't want to laugh at people. Is it close?
Are you sure? Is it close to that John guy that you sent me a link to?
Oh, okay. That guy, is at least a professional lying for Jesus person. That guy, Peter's going to go for it.
Yeah, you guys should check out.
That was crazy, right?
That was almost too much for me. I had to.
Yeah.
Like even listening to it like at like 1.2 2.5 speed, just like, wow, this is not fast enough to get
Right.
this
No,
shit.
it's bad. And
It's like swimming through fucking bullshit.
I've had conversations with people who, not the conversation on the topic they were having, but a conversation with people who argue like that. And me as a person who, even in my magical thinking, could see my way out of a paper bag. I mean, that guy couldn't see his way out of, I don't know. I think he wanted to aggravate them. And whenever there would be evidence presented, it was like he'd go, la, 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 la.
Red's telling me. Say what?
Snarky just said the booger eater guy. Yeah, he wasn't that wonton. I think that was wonton. Oh, he doesn't believe everything's a conspiracy, and he live on camera. Special, some non sequitur show.
Oh yeah, Wonton. He's one of the
Wonton.
He's one of the flat earthers, isn't he?
Special fucker, that guy.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. It's like a train wreck. You can't look away.
Yeah.
He does get annoying. He gets annoying after a while because he doesn't want to learn anything, and that I don't have time for. That's I did probably Red's rhetoric. Did maybe even two of coming in and watching him debate. He's an excellent debater, but I just flat Earth has been debunked for what, like thousands of years. I just can't.
Depending on the culture.
Yeah, but this is the one I live in.
At least hundreds.
Yeah, I never had a problem understanding any of that. I got it the first time. Got it the first time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just can't understand. It does make me sad that science just kind of like passed them up, because that's the way that you find things out. And now, knowing what I know now and being open to more, I'm remembering being in science class. I'm remembering different tests I took and going, oh yeah, and then if I do that and I do, it's just all coming together. It makes me think, what happened when I finished school to the time where I became an atheist was just a bunch of like, I don't know. I got married and had kids young. That's all it was about. I wasn't thinking about what is the meaning of life. Although I always did have that thought, I immediately put it out. Immediately, like, well, that's not up to me. I'll find out when I die.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But in my 20s, once I reached my 20s, I no longer, not going to church. I didn't go to church at all in my 20s or 30s at all. But I had already let go of any magic. There was no virgin births or resurrections, but that doesn't mean that there isn't a God. It just, maybe it didn't happen that way.
Right.
But I didn't really contemplate it too much. Once in a while, I'd give it really good thought, and then I'd let it go. I was busy with life, really busy with life. It really took losing a best friend to the Jehovah's Witnesses cult to kind of shake me out of, like, what do you think? What do you believe in? What's real? That kind of thing. And apparently I didn't know anything. Apparently. I didn't know too much.
Like,
right.
Most of us didn't. So
I know some of the amazing videos that I watch, like Cosmic. He's so young. And I think,
he's like 19 now or something.
How lucky you are to have that brain in your noggin. Like, I just,
and
smart, so sexy to me. And then he's going to eventually be a 35-year-old man, and he's going to be even smarter.
Yeah. He's going to have so much under his belt by the time he gets to our age.
Yes. Yes. Can you imagine? And then imagine him as a dad. Yeah. Yeah. Only I could have been so lucky as to have been born as his child in the future. Things would have been so different.
Yeah, definitely different. Definitely. Whole new world. But let's get back to the end of times, which is coming soon, from what I know.
Any day now.
Any day now.
Any minute.
Even yesteryear.
Yeah. Might have already came, apparent. According to the Jehovah's Witnesses, Jesus has been here already. He's just invisible. Yeah.
He's here. Did he rapture anyone up already?
No, he's waiting.
He's waiting.
Yeah.
What the fuck is he doing here?
He's hanging
Is he
out
just
with.
like hanging out at a Motel 6, like going outside every now and then? Like, there's some gay sex I don't like.
Yeah.
There's some smoking
He's
I
hanging
don't
out
like.
with the governing body, apparently.
The governing body.
Yeah, I think that's
All
where
right.
he's hanging out.
He's hanging out in, because that's based in New York City, isn't it?
Yeah, didn't they move? Nacho would know more about that. Oh,
He
there
would.
it is, actually.
I'm pretty sure that's where they're hanging out with.
It sort of has already started, he said.
It's just like, how are they still getting new light while he's hanging out with them in New York City?
Right.
Like, wouldn't he have like gone through that in like the first couple of fucking
And apparently
days?
tight jeans are bad and don't hump your pillow. That's what I got out of this year's.
Like, I get that boiling a lamb in his mother's milk is freaking weird.
Yeah.
But I feel like maybe if tight pants were that big of a deal, that should have been in the 10 Commandments instead.
Right, and what if you don't have water and you're hungry?
There is that. There's that. All I have are these 2 lambs and the milk from the mother and a crazy appetite for lamb right
I
now.
can cook. I can make a meal out of that.
When you do my hair,
Yes.
I'll eat whatever lamb and whatever you cook it in.
Gotcha.
We'll have to make a video if you make
Oh, yes.
lamb boiled in.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Like, who do you go to? Who do you go to ask, hey, can I have some milk from that lamb? Sure. Can I also get its kid? Wait, you're not going to, don't ask questions.
Right.
Don't ask questions. Can I get that lamb's kid?
Yes.
Please.
But it has to be her kid and her milk.
Yes.
Has to be.
Don't jip me.
Because I'm about to be
I'll
some
know.
blasphemous motherfucker up in here.
If I don't see
Yeah.
some extra flames after I cook
Yeah.
this thing, I'm coming back here.
Yes.
Calling you
gosh.
out.
You know, you just said flames, and it takes me back to being in like 3rd grade and raising my hand and going, but why does God care about burnt offerings?
Good question. Good question for a kid to ask.
Well, why would he care about that? Does God eat?
Right. Yeah, I always wondered, like, do they just let it sit there and rot, or does he eat?
Right, because aren't there like famines going on over here? Like, I couldn't.
Don't pay attention to that. Don't pay attention to
that's
that.
kind of what I was told.
They're heathens. I mean, they're all God's children, but they don't really know about him, so they should.
I
probably
was
just
told
live their
one
life.
time, I don't remember what the question was. Probably because I was so embarrassed by it afterwards. I asked the question and was told to come here to the desk and told to go back to my desk and color about it. Like color a picture about it. Don't talk about it no more. So everybody else is doing the stuff and I have to color about it. Yeah.
Don't think about it. Go color about it.
Go color about it.
Everyone,
Yeah.
hashtag go color about it.
Yes, and I was at a school that my mom paid for me to be at.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. Private school. Yeah.
Now, Cyrus went to a private school as well, and it was the Young Earth Creation School.
I know. His story's fascinating to me.
It really is. It really.
Even
We have a
though
lot of
it's
people in the community.
God, he's so smart.
A smarty. See,
Yeah.
now I heard you. Godless Island was gonna lose his shit when I say what I think. I heard.
Oh, no.
It sounded like, oh, he's another shorty. Can't even see his feet.
No, but I do know that his outfit is made out of squirrels or something. That's all I know is that he's got squirrels or something
Probably.
in his. Yeah.
Squirrels and a hammer.
That hammer's badass.
It is.
Thanks.
Did you hear about their new podcast, Ocean and Cyrus's?
I have.
I should just promote everyone else's channel on here.
I think you should. I think you should.
Actually, I do want to promote someone's channel. Like,
Okay.
again, segue, and then we're going to come back because
Okay.
we're running late, but let's just keep going for like at least 10 more minutes. All right. Sorry, live chat, we keep getting off topic, and that's my fault.
I'm horrible.
So yes, you're horrible. Sorry,
I'm
Christy.
horrible. I'm
You're
sorry.
I'm gonna cover up this happy birthday now. This looks scandalous. All right, so
But I love it. It's right between the nips.
nips are getting cold. Anyways,
Oh man.
so I'm out of alcohol. I need more alcohol. Someone give me a drink. Don't die, Christy. I was already told not to drink like
Yeah,
3
don't-
times.
Don't kill Not Jobs Christie. I think he'll
Well-
fly here from Australia.
You made it to 42. You don't really need to make it to 8:45 or whatever. So, how was I going to say? Okay. A shout out to a new channel that I've shouted out on Mr. Atheist channel.
Okay.
I gave a shout out to Tropic Thunder.
Yes.
Yes, that's not the name of the channel.
No,
I'm so sorry.
On Twitter, right?
Yes. Topic Thunder.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Topic Thunder.
Yes.
She has a new channel. She has 3 videos, and I really appreciate her videos. They kind of, especially her newest one about abortion, definitely deals in my area, the gray area. And I really appreciate the time she seemingly takes to make these videos, and she really cares about accuracy.
Yeah.
So please, everyone, all 16, 17 of you, go subscribe right now. Don't leave the stream, but go subscribe right now to Topic Thunder. Topic Thunder. She only has, I think she has less than 20 subscribers, but she really deserves more, and I think it will motivate her to make some more videos faster, and I'd like to see more. And I'm hoping to have her on this channel soon. So, Godless Island, keep your greedy hands off of her. She's on my channel first. So, but yeah, please go subscribe to Topic Thunder. Not Tropic Thunder. I'm an idiot. I want to give her another shout out because I missed
Isn't that a really funny movie?
It is. It's such a, like, that's what got my attention. I'm like, oh shit, this person's name is Tropic Thunder. I'm totally in.
Yeah, that was
And then
a funny movie.
yeah. So, yeah, Topic Thunder. Go check her out. She's awesome. And yeah, so there's that. So take 2. I think I'm funny. I think a lot of people
I think
I'm just
we think that you're funny.
You're so funny. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
I hope this is fun for you.
I've had a
Also,
blast.
I'm gonna talk to the live chat real quick. I'm
really
not fucking
early,
twerking.
so she's been asleep for a while. So this is awesome.
Aw. Wait, who's been asleep? You said?
My girlfriend. She wakes
Stacey,
up at like 4:45, 5 o'clock in the morning,
Oh, that's terrible.
and then works at a dental office with like real people
Oh,
all day in their mouth.
in the
It's a
mouth.
dental office. Their mouth.
In the mouth.
Yeah. So she's tired.
God's got heads. He's got mouths.
God does have heads.
I wonder if all those heads brush. All right. So, I'm going to refocus us just a little bit
Yes.
on
I can do this.
the end times. So, to just narrow it down and shorten it up, rapture. Do you believe that the rapture is going to, like, Jesus will come back, take a bunch of souls, leave some of us here? Is that kind of your view?
Yeah, as a Christian, absolutely. I did believe that was the reason why it was so important to tell so many people about it. 'Cause if not, they were going to be left here. And what kind of person would knowingly not tell your friends there was a way out to be saved?
Yeah, because the one thing that I really hate now, but I understand from then, and I hope you can relate, is the I've had a friend who's been an atheist for probably the last 15 years. And I always just kind of like worried about her soul. It's just like, she wasn't dead to me, but I knew she was going to be. I knew she was going to be. And that's awful. That's an awful thing to think. But I mean, you can't help it. I don't blame Christians for honestly believing that. But I kind of do blame them for being okay with it.
Right.
Because it's kind of awful.
It is awful.
But I also understand that they don't know any better. Like, they just simply don't know any better. I can see in my
They're
dad's...
trying to say, I have the answer. Here it is. They don't know any better. Yeah.
They don't. I can see in, like, my dad's eyes now. That's kind of how he looks at me. It's just like, I really like this guy. You know? I really love my son, but why do you, like,
I'm sure.
why is he just choosing death? And I'm sure a lot of people in the live chat can relate.
I'm sure.
And it's sad. But I also, as awful as it is, I do want people to try to remember. I don't know if you had any atheist friends, but it helped me to have an atheist friend before I was an atheist to relate that feeling to. If nothing else, that was the biggest thing. It's just thinking, wow, they're going to be dead to me. And there's nothing I can do about it. And if you can remember that, you can have some kind of empathy. And I feel like that's what we need to have as humanists to have good discussions.
Well, I didn't know an atheist that I know about as a Christian. Not one. I had friends of different religions. And I did have a Pakistani origin family. The daughter, son, and younger daughter, all three of them had been born in the States, were in my middle school and high school. And the girl who had been in a few classes off and on with me, I remember talking to other Christians that were in my class about, saving people and how many friends do we think that are here right now that won't be there. And this girl that was a different religion saying, well, what kind of God would send good people to hell? And I was in 9th grade and thought, for days and days, I stopped going to, I hadn't gone to any churches right around that time on. I thought, well, they wouldn't do that. I didn't have an answer for her. My friends who were Christian did. They said, because that's what God says. And I thought, well, that doesn't make sense.
Right.
And, I think that I wish I could go back just to that girl right then and give her a kiss. You're like, thank you so much, because I stopped. At that time, my mom wasn't going anymore, and I went if I wanted to, and I had swim practice. Cheerleading practice stopped for swim practice. I was just too busy. And because of being too busy and then becoming a mom, I was a mom 3 months before I turned 18. And then a mom again at 21. I was pregnant for my 21st birthday, and married and a mom. I didn't have time to think about those things, but I never again thought a God would send good people of any type to a bad place. And then I thought, the bad place probably doesn't even exist in my 20s. There's no way that happens. Magic isn't real.
So, even though you thought magic wasn't real, how did you separate the existence from God from thinking hell didn't exist?
Oh gosh, like in my 20s, by not being in the church, surrounded by the church, I was able to think for myself and have these two little beautiful girls who don't go to church, babies. I remember looking at Isabel while she was nursing and thinking, if I didn't baptize her for real, she would go somewhere bad. And thinking, no, that's not real. And being done with that thought. Just having kids and knowing that they're perfect. They're just so perfect that there's nothing they could do that would be bad. Not bad enough to torture them forever. So I dropped that altogether. I thought that, but after we die, we definitely all do go to a good place. At that time, that's what I thought. Because where else would we go? I didn't think that there could even be a possibility that it wasn't real. But where else would we go?
Yeah. And I'm getting off topic. If I had more to drink, I'd do it, guys. I'm going to have to walk away from the camera in a second to go grab drinks. something that really disgusts me, and I'll say it like this. I'd like everyone in the live chat, especially the content creators who debate Christians, keep this in the back of your mind. Every now and then you'll hear just like, well, then either from our side or their side, you'll hear, well, then Hitler's in heaven, right? Or anyone can be saved, or these Catholics that commit like sexual abuse to kids, like, well, then they're in heaven because they asked for forgiveness. What the fuck ever. Just at the same time, they can't stand the idea of not only an afterlife of not existing, but a hell not existing, because they can't stand the idea of someone they don't agree with, or someone who's just sick in the head, not
Manson
being tortured. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Forever.
Right.
Like longer than the speck of life you have, being tortured nonstop forever. And they think that's moral.
Right.
Like,
and as a Christian, I would have thought Manson should be punished forever.
mm-hmm.
But now knowing more and actually looking into, I don't know, there's a girl named Nadine. I'm sure all of you know her. I love her. She is fascinated by the morbid as well. There are serial killers that are famous, and you can't help sometimes. I'll speak for myself, looking into them, and then you read more, and then you read more. It's not even his fault. He's fucking crazy. He's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So I don't think that he's inherently evil. I think that he should be locked up until he died, and he was.
Right.
Done deal.
And I'll push it just because I can. I would say we only differ on that, to where I would take my view on humanism and just say, like, everyone has a right to happiness and life, unless their right or happiness impeaches on someone else's. Like,
yes.
Right? Yes. So Manson, like you said, he should be locked up until he dies, but I think he should just be killed. I don't think you should really kill anyone, except like they're killing people and they're not going to stop. I know he's messed up in the head.
Because he never actually killed anybody. He had other people do it for him.
Okay.
He never killed one person himself.
He's fucking crazy.
That's crazy.
That's a special kind of crazy.
Ooh, buddy.
Yeah.
Only in America.
Yeah. But it's there's so many interesting topics we could get into, but we shouldn't right now. But yeah, I think that people like that who are just sick in the head and are a danger to society, they should be killed, because that's not hell. That's just ending someone's life. It's a little bit of utilitarianism, is what it is. And I don't believe in full utilitarianism because it has its flaws.
I'm anti-death penalty in any way, but I do understand anti-death penalty in any way.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. But I grew up in a family that was 100% for it, and I remember my dad saying to the news, "Just kill the motherfucker," and me being like, "Yeah, right. He doesn't deserve to live." As a kid, that's so sick. I can't imagine saying that in front of my girls.
Every single time someone says something like that, I think of whiskey for my men, beer for my horses.
Yes. Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
exactly. That is the mainstream view, and especially like in country music and right-wing media. Because I hate to say that country music has to be right-wing media, but it kind of is to be mainstream. But that's just what that song is. That's just what it is, and I'm not saying that I agree with the death penalty like 100% or whatever, but I think that it is necessary. Again, everything I think is in the gray area. That's why I am the gray skeptic. There is a line. There is a line where it's not just, you can't just say in no way, shape, or form the death penalty is okay. I think there are some extreme cases that it'd be in everyone's best interest, even the person who is alive, probably to and their life. And I hate saying that because I have like necrophobia. I hate dead
Yeah,
things.
corpses.
Yeah. Yeah, I hate corpses. I hate like I
The
don't
word
like
corpse.
harm on anything. The word corpseophobia. No, but I just I don't like the idea of ending anything. Like I don't even like hunting. That's part of like my no gun rule. It's just like, why do you even have to like kill anything? Like we have a humane way of doing it. But and I know there's flaws with that. No one has to like crack down on me. But I don't like it. I don't like death. I don't like exerting
Hurting things
death.
without a necessity. Yeah, there needs
Yeah.
to be a necessity for it.
Yeah, but
And not a trophy. That's not acceptable.
That's bullshit. Yeah, exactly.
That's murder. And I think that for me, if Donald Trump's son wants to go hunt a panther, I'm cool with it if that panther is let loose with him. He can have a couple knives. The panther has some sharp claws.
Yeah.
Go.
Fucking fair.
Go.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the only time I'm cool with that. And even then, that's
but if you die, then the
gladiator
panther gets to
game.
eat you because he doesn't keep trophies.
Absolutely. Yes. He'll probably taste like, ugh. What a
Like-
horrible piece of meat.
It tastes like Trump.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah.
Like a troll, like their father.
It tastes like citrus tan oil. Anyways,
Yeah.
so that's my take on it. And like just to be clear, like I don't think the Texas death penalty is bullshit. I don't think I don't think that's something that should be practiced often, but I think it should. There are cases where it should be done, and that's it. Like gray area. 10 times
What
fast.
life is. That's what life is.
Exactly.
A whole shit ton of gray area.
That's
Yes.
right. That's right.
Yeah.
So, I feel like there was another question I was going to ask you. We should get off the Revelations topic because we've gotten off of it a little bit. So I don't want to jump back onto it. Oh hell!
Yeah.
What is
Oh,
hell? What is hell to you, you Southern Baptists?
Ooh.
What is it?
I, as a very, very young child, like 4, I had a family member die who was a very bad guy. I don't really have memories of him, but I have pictures of him holding me. You know, I know who he is. I know that he died. I went to his funeral. That is, for some reason, in my mind, he was such a bad person. So whatever he did, I don't really remember it. He was going to hell. That night after the funeral, I had all these dreams that he was there. And I mean, as a 4-year-old, it was his face in fire. But I still, at 42, remember this. I remember waking up screaming and running to the bedroom so my mom can console me. And at that time in the 80s, parents were told to not coddle your kids. So she would lock the bedroom door, and I would sleep with my pillow up against her bedroom door because I was so scared of hell. But she wouldn't let me in because that's what she was told to do. We talked about this as adults, and she says, I hated it. It was the worst thing ever, and I would never do it again. But that's what she was told to do as a young parent by the church and, you know, everyone else. But I remember thinking I was so scared to go to sleep because if hell's real and I'm not good enough, as this is as a very, very young kid, a couple years later, fast forward, telling my mom, hey, do you remember when I used to have those bad dreams? And her saying yes. And I saying they were about hell and I'm so scared about hell. And she said, honey, you have nothing to worry about. Christians don't go to hell. That was the last time I ever feared it.
Neither do Muslims.
Right. Yeah. Except for Muslims until the age of what, like 15?
I don't know.
They can't go to hell. But once they reach the age of reason.
Right. 7, right?
Yeah, that's for Catholics. Yeah, age of reason is Catholic. Yeah.
Yeah. It's it's a scary and whether it's real or not, it's a scary thing, right? Because it affects so many people. Cosmic Skeptic has talked about this on his channel before. I'm not sure if you've watched that video. Yeah, he still has like flashbacks. He still has times where he just thinks for a second, oh God, oh shit, what if I'm wrong? And he just has a mini panic attack. He's just sitting on the bus and it just freaks him out to hell, right?
That breaks my heart.
He's not the only one.
It pisses me off and it breaks my heart. Like it really fucking infuriates me.
Yeah. And
that could be done to a human.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's just, as sad as that is just a tiny thing that's wrong with religion. Like that is, to me, it as harmful as that is to a person, I feel like it's still just a small thing because there's so much shit that religion imposes. That's just a chip of the iceberg. But
I feel that and I'll speak for myself, for being a kid that was so inquisitive and always asking questions to the point where I was, come be my helper, come up here and be my helper, teachers all the time, because I just had so many questions. For a kid to have so many questions and to not use that, to tell it to, go color it for me, or it's okay, there's two things, knowledge and faith, you need to have both. And they work together, and you're not knowing how to even understand that as a kid. It just shuts off the critical part of your brain. And I guess that's what it's for. That's why they do it. I don't think they're all malicious. I think most of them have fallen for it themselves.
Yeah. This goes back to what I was saying about having an atheist friend. It's like you tell them because you care. You care and you want to see them in eternity and the life that actually matters. And again, that's just another thing that pisses me off about religion. Any kind of afterlife kind of religion is that you think this life is the one that matters. But if it's the only one that you have, then it's the only one that matters. Whether matters is like subjective or not, right? Whether meaning is subjective or not, make it mean something, because you're not going to regret it, but if you could, you would.
When my girls were, I was going through divorce. I was married to a man, in case nobody knew. And when I was going through divorce, we'd been together for 10 years, and his mother was super strong, devout Baptist, Southern Baptist, super strong, devout. And she adored my girls. She really did. She wasn't trying to do anything, but she'd really just worship the ground they walked on. But she took them to church. And at that time, I thought, well, I went to church when I was little. They're going to have fun. Mm-hmm. And they're going with their grandma. And I get to sleep in and be with their dad. So many things. I wasn't thinking anything else but those things. And after a whole year, his mom told me that she signed them up to be baptized. And it will be in like 2 Sundays from now. And now we're going through a divorce. So when the girls see her, they're with him and I have no say. So I had to show up at the church. And now this time I hadn't been going to. Now I'm like 26 years old, 27 years old. I hadn't been going to church at all in my 20s. And even then, after coming to a place where hell isn't real because God wouldn't do that. Not a God that's worthy of being worshipped. And virgin birth isn't real. None of those things that we can't prove are real, but that doesn't mean God's not real. Maybe we just have the stories wrong or the way it happened, but God is still real. And I felt guilty for being the mom to show up at my daughter's baptism that's not a member of the church. And I got all teary-eyed and I thought, God needs me back. Even after all those years. And I didn't go back. I was going through a divorce. I didn't want anything to do with his family. But still that pull, even though I've come to the decision that it's not real, You know, but an atheist was a bad word. An atheist is something totally different than someone who doesn't believe. In my mind.
Yeah,
at that time.
When I started coming out, I was very, very scared of using that word. I'm like, I think I'm an atheist, but I don't want to say that because that's an awful thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it still took me like 6 months to like embrace it, but by the time I did, I'm like, I think I'm an anti-theist.
Yeah.
Like by the time I was okay with atheist, like at the
Right.
same time, I was like, I think I'm further than that. I think I'm pissed off.
I was watching Apologia. I was watching Apologia video.
He's great.
The ham and eggs, ham and eggs.
Flip 'em,
and my youngest was just turned 19, and I was like, "Come watch this. It's so good." And she's watching it, and she goes, "Yeah, exactly. I've been an atheist for a while now, and I hadn't even called myself that. I was just." She's 20 now, so this was a year ago when she had just turned 19. So I was just going into all this. I had just found Apologia's channel. And when she said that, I thought, how does she even know what that means? So I thought, well, you know, she's always been a step ahead of me. We've had some pretty philosophical conversations since then, some really deep ones.
And who was that you said?
My youngest daughter.
She found
told me
Apologia?
she was an atheist. Well, I was showing it to her.
Okay.
And when it got over, she goes, yeah, I've been calling myself an atheist for a year now. I'm like, hi, I'm your mom. Nice to meet you.
Right.
Yeah, I was just blown away because I was not calling myself that. I had just found him. I'm like, look at this. This is the third one I'm watching. It's so good.
Yeah.
I mean, I just binge watched him. I watched him so much that I couldn't watch him for like a whole month because I just knew the song by heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was in your soul. So now your daughter saying that to you, did that have any like immediate effect on you? Thinking just like, cool, now I'm an atheist. Like, did that give you a comfortability, or did you just think about it? Like, how did that affect you? Her saying it and with your
it's gonna sound cheesy, but I'm like a mama bear. And the first minute was, don't say that out loud. I don't want people to treat you bad. Da, da, da. I didn't say any of this. It's just in my head. Okay, I need to formulate how we're going to talk about this so she knows she can't say it around certain people because I don't want them to think differently of her. But I thought about it. She went to work. I didn't see her for a few hours. And when she came home, I thought, oh, she's 19. Let her do it herself, Mom. You know, Let her do it herself. It's not, if she wants to talk about it, you guys can talk about it, but don't tell her how to do it. She's got to make those mistakes. She's an atheist at 19 for the right reasons. I did something right. I did something right. And before myself. So I had, for her first birthday, her dad's Puerto Rican, 100% Puerto Rican.
Cool.
She's a very Spanish little girl. He married me when I had Jordan already. So he raised both of them for those 10 years. And for her first birthday, it's tradition. It's a lot of Spanish homes to buy them their first gold necklace with a cross. So, of course, we went for what she would wear as an adult, as a baby. So it was really a clip it right here, and it was a big cross for a baby. But as she grew up, it looked nice on her. She hadn't worn it. I mean, the day she told me an atheist, I went to my jewelry box, put my ring up, and I looked at her cross sitting there. I'm like, yeah, she hasn't worn that in a long, I'm just putting these pieces together. And I told her, well, what do you want to do with this? She was like, whatever you want. I'm never going to wear that again. And I just thought, wow, you got that for your first birthday, but so easily you can, and I hadn't let go of it 100% at that point. Mm-hmm. She goes, it's a torture device. I don't want to wear it on my neck. And I thought, wow. And I never thought of it like that. And here's my kid telling me something that I could learn from. I learn from them all the time, though. So that's not surprising.
It's awesome.
I'm sure you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Little ones all the time.
Yep.
Like patience.
Especially with my youngest. Like I thought I had some real patience. And then my youngest one came in.
Oh, is he a mini you?
Yeah. No, I don't know. My oldest one is a mini me.
No. I bet he's so
My youngest one is just a monster. I don't understand what happened. He's just
100%
angry all the
monster.
time. Yeah.
Oh, he's got a lot of emotion.
He does. Like he's super duper happy, cute, or he's super duper pissed off. He'll burn the fucking house down.
It's one or the other.
Yeah. It's
How
like
old is he?
it's like no. He's 1.5.
Oh yeah.
He's not even
yeah.
a 2 yet.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Anyways.
That seems normal for a boy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. My brother was like that. My brother, when he was little, would get so mad that my mom would have to put her hand down because he would smash his head into the floor.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
to smash it because he was mad.
Yeah.
Like, even if it hurt him. I never understood that as a big sister. I was like, whoa.
My oldest did that for a little while. I don't know why, but he did that a little bit, and I would get mad like a couple times. Like picked him up and like I shook him for like,
Yeah,
don't
like,
do
what the
that.
hell?
Don't hit my kid. Don't hit my kid.
That's what I did too.
My wife's like, what are you doing? Like he's hurting himself.
Yes.
I don't want him to hurt himself.
Yes. I remember my mom telling her mother-in-law, my grandmother, don't put your hand in the way. He knows you're going to save him. So the next time he went to do it, no one saved him, and I don't think he ever did it again because he hurt himself. He busted his forehead open. He was a little, same thing, hot or cold. Hot or cold.
1.5 old, my oldest one touched a plug. He still remembers
it. I don't know if you guys can see, but I have this horrible scar right here on my lip. It's really bad. You can see it in closer pictures, especially if you're friends with me on YouTube. But you can see it really bad, really, really well. When I was 2, 3, 4, maybe 4, I put an extension cord in my mouth, and the other end was plugged in.
Ew, no.
And the whole house went dark.
Oh,
and I had
my
to go
goodness.
to the emergency room because my lips were melted together to here.
Wow.
Yeah, so it had to be cut and it was a mess.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Hi, baby. Thank you for my birthday wishes. Sleepyhead.
Hi, Stacy.
Hi, Stacy. So Kyle from Non Sequitur came on to say happy birthday, and he stood up and took his shirt off, and it says down here, Kyle. So I'll show you. It was fantastic. This will probably be the first time I've been on without. I'll take this out so you can hear. It's the first time I've ever done a stream where I'll go watch it. Because I haven't watched anything I've been on. This is happy birthday. His wife did that for him. And then it says, stand up, stand up. Okay. No, let me see the bottom.
Let me get it.
Sup, Kyle.
Sup, Kyle. I should just get that tattooed on me. Right over my abs. I love it so much. Sup, Kyle.
Hi, baby.
I have no tattoos. I should have my first tattoo being Sup,
I love
Kyle
it.
over my abs.
Oh, kids.
So, I have a couple questions for you.
Okay.
From the live chat.
Okay.
Atheist asked, how did you feel about no female pastors in the Southern Baptist Church?
Well, like I said, when I was... Any injustices that I saw that came close... Nothing came close to that I saw.
Okay.
I wasn't privy to that. I was so into my youth group and what we were doing next. We would sometimes have to wait in the main sanctuary for 15 minutes in between something that we were doing. And I remember not even listening, just talking to each other. So I'm on the lucky side that I have fond memories of Southern Baptist, Church of God, kind of both. The only bad memories that I have were peer pressure. Lots of peer pressure. You have to get baptized. You're not baptized. All your friends are baptized. You're going to go to hell. If something happened to you on the way home from church, you would go straight to hell. All the time. And at 11, I told my mom, no, I was 10, that I needed to get baptized. And she was like, you're so young. And I said, but if I don't, I'm going to die. And she never argued with me. She goes, well, I mean, she's got a point. So I was the very next day, I guess they do it on a schedule like most churches. The very next time I was doing it. And I remember being so nervous, like I'm about to go into a contract or something. Mm-hmm. And then being told that it's the contract with God forever. But because of this, there's nothing you can do that you can't get forgiven for.
Right. And also there's nothing you can do that you're not going to need forgiveness for.
Right.
So, I feel like, go ahead.
Sorry. When I moved down to Florida, I started middle school. But my mom, pre moving to Florida, I had a mom and a dad and a brother and a sister. Moving to Florida after my mom's divorce, it was just myself and my mom. Not that she couldn't, we didn't go to church. She had to provide for me. And so it was a whole different mom. It was a whole different state. It was a whole different culture shock. Everything's so segregated down here as opposed to up by Chicago where I'm from. It was just totally different. But I still had lots of friends that were believers. I didn't hear those injustices like that. I remember hearing the same with Jehovah's Witnesses. The women aren't allowed to do anything there, and just being appalled as an adult that was a believer still, that there was a deist God somewhere doing something, being appalled that women are equal. So yeah, I wish I could answer that as a young kid that was a Baptist, but I was blinded from anything bad because I wanted to only see the good, I'm sure.
Right. And I have a hard time saying if that's better or worse.
Right.
Because I feel like
right.
religion is evolving, and for the better, because they need to stay relevant and like be nicer, because that's what people want.
They do.
But it still carries all that fucking baggage with it, and and that baggage is the old text that it's based off of, which has all the old bullshit that disagrees with what you actually believe about your religion. But another talk. So the other question was from Reese C. Asked Christy if she wants to make an astro theology video with me in the future.
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Absolutely, Reese.
Awesome.
Yes, astrotheology is fascinating.
I don't know anything about it yet, but I'm going to look it up. I love
the stars move through the sky, and think about ancient times. The only thing they had at night was the sky. So they made up all these stories about this constellation and this constellation and that. And a lot of them have similar stories to the Bible. Something to think about. I'm not saying that is exactly where they come, but the stars have been there before the Bible, is all I'm saying.
Right, exactly. And like,
that's all I'm saying.
And Mesopotamia,
yes.
Epic of Gilgamesh is older than the flood story. And there's things like religions just plagiarize off of each other.
Recycle.
They evolve.
I was never, if you were taught about Zoroastrians as a young kid, I'll just speak for myself. If I was taught about Zoroastrians, being the kid that I know I am, super inquisitive, I would have went, wait a minute, that sounds like our God. Wait a minute, that sounds a lot like this. Wait a minute, I would have asked all those questions. But that's why we're not taught about the religion that our religion came from. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Final question that was not put on here is: are you ready to turn to the one true faith of Pentecostalism from the Godless Island?
Yes, I already knew who it was from. I already knew who it was from.
Good. I'm glad you watched the streams.
Yes, absolutely. Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
If you guys haven't seen yet, because I read it whether or not he's here anyways. I did a live stream at his house on his channel, and it was very fun. And during that stream, if you haven't seen yet, we discover something amazing.
Oh no! How did I not know this one?
Ooh,
It's not ringing true.
I almost
This
don't want to
was it
say it.
recent? 'Cause-
It was July.
Oh, that's not recent.
So it was what we found out is if you've listened to his journey away from faith, have you?
It's so good.
Yes.
Yes.
Remember when he moved to Branson?
Yes.
I went to the same church that he did.
This is just small world.
The same exact church, except we listened to it because I've mentioned that I listened to mine, or
Right.
did, over like a TV or whatever. But yeah, for a little while we went to the same exact church, not the same brand, like
Right.
whatever.
The
It's
same-
the exact one. It's just like holy shit. What is the chances of that? And that was the one that was too strict for him. Like you couldn't just jump up and whatever, and they kick someone out for getting too excited. Like oh yeah,
Seth
like,
Andrews
mine is
went
very
to
serious.
the same private school that I went to. Not the same location, but the same Temple Christian Academy.
Really?
Red, white, and blue. Yes. Yes. Same
That's so
name, Temple Christian Academy. It was preschool, kindergarten through 12th grade.
Really?
And it had an indoor pool. It had indoor tennis rackets,
That's cool.
tennis courts, basketball court. Yeah, it was very stacked. Very stacked. But think about that. You have 12th graders around 6th graders. Right. I just don't think that 6th graders should go to school with 12th graders because I've been both.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a really good point.
12th graders are damn near adults. But they're not adults.
Right.
But they're just big as adults, and they're old enough to buy things that other kids aren't, because a lot of them are 8. Yeah, it's just a big mess. And it was co-ed, boys and girls.
Yeah. Yep. So, all right. Is there anything? I have one last question for you, but is there anything else that you want to touch base on before we go? You have a cute puppy.
I love him so much. He loves his mommy.
So is there anything else that you would like to touch base on before we go? Specifically?
I had a freaking great time.
Me too. This was very
pretty much. Yeah, and I think that you and I should, even if we're not live, probably should keep talking because you're awesome.
That'd be fun. I would really, really like that.
I think that we should have a drinking night at least once in a while. And I had a blast in it, and thank everybody for coming. I was surprised so many people that were here, that are still here. These are all my favorites, and I love them so much.
Yes, thank you for coming to support us tonight. Thanks for coming to my channel, and thank you for coming to support Christy. Because
Mr. Bean says he loves you. Look at those ears. Look at those ears.
What's his name?
Mr. Bean.
Bing.
Mr. Bean.
Bean. Mr. Bean. Bean. Got it.
Mr. Bean. Mr. Bean?
Zero, I'm not going to twerk, and I'll tell you why. I can't. I can't twerk. If I was able to twerk, I'd probably just be shameless. Yes. Puppy twerk. Thank you, everyone, for coming.
Absolutely.
Christy, I have a final question for you, and I want you to answer this as the in-between. What is a verse or passage of the Bible that meant something to you, that really sticks out to you as a Christian and as an atheist, that just you have a whole flip-flop worldview of it?
As an atheist as well.
Yeah, just one that's like you were totally for, and now you're like, holy shit, I can't believe I was ever cool with this.
Oh, okay. My favorite, gosh, my mom has us on cassette tape recordings of us, my brother and myself, knowing complete Bible verse groupings and prayers by heart. At little ones at age 2, a little bit bigger, age 3 and age 4. The Lord's Prayer, all of them. But I think the one that the church I went to the most, I was on a group of a few girls that were making the t-shirts for Bible camp. And we did J, slash and then 16. Obviously, everybody knows John 3:16, but that one was the one that was the one I went to tell people, well, why do you believe? Because God gave his only begotten son. Like, that was the one that I always went to, and now I'm like, good God. Good God. Yeah. My favorite Bible verses, though, as an atheist, are all the bow and chicka wow wow. Yeah. Yeah, the, like, drink her, fragrant juices. And I'm like, wow, this is really here in the Bible.
Get some.
Good stuff. Yeah, get some.
Get some. God has heads.
Oh my gosh, it's very explicit for the time.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. What is that? That's Psalms, right?
Well, God has heads?
No, no, the taste the fruit of my lovers. Somebody's got to know it.
I think so. I think it is. I've actually never read Psalms through. And I'm probably the only Christian who didn't.
I can't remember. Yeah, it's very sexual, talking about her hair is like a lamb's wool and her fruit is like juice and it's flowing, and it's very like, okay. And then they talk about anal sex, and yeah, that's good stuff. Song of Solomon. Thank you, Atheist. Song of Solomon. Yes, sir. It's very naughty. Biblically naughty.
Yeah.
Now, read it to your wife in your sexy voice.
Oh, yeah. Wait, I have a sexy voice?
I see a baby head.
Here. Yes.
I see a little red. Oh,
no. Say hi to Oliver.
Hi, Oliver. You have the most amazing name ever.
He actually can't hear you. Can you say it again?
You have the best name ever. I love the name Oliver. If I had a boy, I was going to name him Oliver. He's just like, hi.
He's not very good.
He's so cute.
All right.
Oh.
I'm going to tie this talk up, okay?
Okay.
You can sit here.
Okay.
I think he just woke up. I think he was sleeping. He's just like, hey, what's up?
Yeah, he's like.
Yeah, like a zombie.
Yeah,
so,
like me in the morning.
There we go. Oliver, do you need some coffee?
No.
Okay. Again, thank you everyone for coming out. Happy birthday.
Thank you. I bet your son is like, Daddy? What's on your chest?
He probably didn't even notice. He's still half asleep.
Probably.
And thank you, Christy, for coming on. This was such a fun talk. I apologize to everyone for not staying on topic, but I hope you still had fun because we had a lot of.
I'm encouraged.
Yes, and I love rabbit trails, so
yes,
we went down a whole bunch of them.
Me too.
But yeah, so thank you, everyone. Please like and subscribe, Mr. Atheist. Mr. Atheist. Mr. Atheist will be here next Friday. This is our third or fourth reschedule. But he should be here at 11 p.m. next Friday for an Atheist Flashback. And that should only be an hour long. So awesome. But yes, hopefully we'll see everyone. And Christy, do you have a YouTube channel?
I do. The reason why I started one was because I couldn't share the videos I took of my daughter performing in middle school without sharing them to YouTube first because they were too big. So I have her middle school, her high school, she was the captain of the color guard, the team that dances with the marching band during football games. She was the captain. So of course I had to go and videotape everything she did. So I put it all up there. And then my cats are on there, my dog's on there. And then I discovered you guys. And because I had made so many friends already, I didn't want to change it. So my life's kind of on there, my family life.
Yeah. But
I mean, I have never got the feeling from any of you oh man, I should really change that. Your kid's on right now. It's just a different community, and I really love you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my daughter's on there. I'm sure a few of you have seen her dance. She's so cute. But she's grown now, and she does different things. But I will probably never take those off.
That's fair.
Ever. Yeah. So I do, and you can contact me there. You can contact me on Facebook.
Go sub.
Christine. Yeah, Christine Santiago, and then dash Powell, Powell. I'm not related to Matt Powell. Just letting
I
everybody
wanted to
know.
ask.
Fuck that twat. Not related. That was my stepdad's name, and he adopted me. So there's that. And then my Instagram is Higher Frequencies, and Twitter is at Christine Dawn SA.
Yes.
And then I'm sure all of you that are here right now know all of that.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So, and if anyone else needs contact or you're having a hard time, just let me know.
Yeah.
We'll get you in touch.
And I'm there to talk to anybody. Look at his face.
It's funny that he can't hear you.
So cute.
All right. Again, thank you, everyone. Have a good night. Thank you, Christy, and we'll see you all soon.
Bye, Mac. Good night.
Oh, you can stay on, Christy, so don't.
Okay,
so don't
absolutely.
run away.
I'll be right here.
Okay. Bye, guys.